So let's start with some quick intros. I am Ritesh Shah. I'm a GenAI architect at ServiceNow. And the stars for today, PC.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning. Thank you so much for taking time and joining this session. And yeah, very coincidence that today is the AI Appreciation Day being celebrated worldwide. And what's the better occasion that we have that, we are on this call and interacting with you, all of you, and it's going to be fun for next 1 hour. And yeah, I'm with LTIMindtree for last 6 years, played multiple roles, and last one and a half year has been kind of fantastic journey that we have been having working here under the CIO organization.
Can't
Thank you
wait
so
to
much. Looking
hear.
forward to.
Yeah, awesome. Jayanti.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Jayanti Shekhar with over 23 plus years of experience at LTIMindtree, driving large scale engagements and transformation initiatives. Currently, I head the HR tech transformation, which is branded under Reimagine HR. And I take care of the digitization of HR processes and the enhancement of employee experience through AI. So, really looking forward for the webinar.
Awesome. And then I have two ServiceNow colleagues, Raghu.
Good day, everyone. I'm Raghuveer, and I'm part of the Customer Excellence Group in ServiceNow. I'm a certified master architect and currently in the role of the success executive for LTIMindtree. So work closely with Prabhakar and Jayanti.
I often get confused if he has a ServiceNow badge or a LTIMindtree badge. Roy.
Hi, folks. Roy Justice. I serve as Senior Director of AI Solution Success and work with early adopters of our AI capabilities and technology.
He's the man, everybody. Awesome. We want to share real stories, but we just, in case if there are forward-looking statements, future like features in the future, a safe harbor, just to keep our lawyers happy. I've seen a lot of repeat people, but if you don't know, this is part of a ongoing series. We call it Live on ServiceNow, where we bring experts from ServiceNow or partners or customers like today to talk about AI and other things ServiceNow. So we hope you get a lot of value and you want to keep coming to these webinars. There will be a link put in the chat for a schedule, or you can also scan this QR code for future schedules and events. Housekeeping, I promise this is the last housekeeping slide, but maybe the most important one. We love questions. This is for you. And we have a special guest from LTIMindtree. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them in Q&A. We'll try to answer along the way. We'll also have some time at the end. But if we don't get to your question, be rest assured we will answer them and put it on the community after the webinar. If you're like me and prepared to take notes and stuff, take it easy. You can relax. This will be recorded. The slides will be put on the community, so you will have all of this information after the webinar. And we love feedback. Like one of the feedbacks from the last session was get more customers and partners to do these sessions. And that's why we have LTIMindtree here today. So if you have any feedback, please help us fill out that survey. We'd love to hear from you and make these events better. All righty, setting the stage. So I'm going to kick it off. Just want to share a few insights of what we see happening in the industry for AI. And then most of the time, we're going to spend talking or listening to our LTIMindtree friends here about their AI journey. And I promise you it's going to be amazing. I know there are some technical folks and sysadmins and whatnot. And if you want a little bit more technical flavor, Roy is going to do that for you. He'll go a little bit into AI agents. If you have time, he will also show you a demo that we built for LTIMindtree or with LTIMindtree. So it's going to be exciting. And then we're going to wrap it up with some takeaways. And we'll hope to have some time for questions. All righty. ServiceNow partnered with Oxford Economics, and we surveyed 4,500 executives across different maturity levels for AI. And we found that, 50% or more, half of them are already seeing value. So this thing is real. Now, I know some of you in the room here are thinking I'm lying, and I hear you. The reality is, yes, the pace setters and early adopters are seeing ROI, but a lot of organizations are not able to keep pace with the innovation that's happening in the industry with AI. And we actually found that the organizational maturity dipped by 9 points. So what are these people doing special, right? One most important thing that we have learned is they're taking a platform approach. Let me dig a little bit, right? So what we've seen that 66% of the people that are executives we surveyed, they took the platform approach in a consistent way, and that was one of the reasons, or main reasons for their success. We have LTIMindtree here. They're one of the pace setters. They're going to share their stories and how they are using ServiceNow platform across IT and HR. But here are some other examples of pace setters where we have seen a lot of success. A little bit about, I'm not a salesperson, by the way, so, but I want to explain what we mean by platform. What we've learned is 85% of Fortune 500 companies, they already have ServiceNow workflows built into every single, business unit, HR, IT, customer service, all of it. And instead of bolting on AI as an add-on, ServiceNow has taken a platform approach where we kind of build it across the platform. So you're not working with data silos, people silos, and process silos. You're bringing it all together and not having pocket solutions, but innovations at scale. A little more for some technical folks on the call. So I'll start with the bottom here. ServiceNow is, of course, a SaaS on our own cloud, but we now are also open to hosting ServiceNow on other clouds. And a lot of customers love it because you have cloud commits and you want to be able to use those. And this is a good way to host ServiceNow in other clouds. At the very bottom, as a lot of you may be familiar, we have a ton of integration spokes and connectors to a lot of these systems that you see here, or partners. But then more open, we are an open ecosystem for AI. So Roy will be talking a little bit about AI agents today, but we are also embracing, we want you all to be able to work with any LLM, even your own or the ones that we support. And we want to be really open with that. You might have heard about AI Control Tower and cool things. Unfortunately, we can't touch some of that here, but if that is of interest, put it in the survey so we can talk about it in detail in the subsequent ones. We are all about data. You've all by now known that data is the key for AI, and we not only want you to work with ServiceNow data, but your data across the whole ecosystem. So we have connectors to SharePoint, Confluence, and stuff like that, but also zero-copy connectors to Snowflake and Databricks, and so on. And then workflows across every business. And we also have catered solutions for every industry. And that's what we mean by platform approach. Our AI is built into every layer of the whole platform. All righty. That was it. And now we're going to have the best part of this webinar today. So PC, kick us off. Tell us a little bit about LTIMindtree.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ritesh, and for the background that you have set up, the context that you have set up. Fantastic. So thank you so much. And yeah, so LTIMindtree, many of you are aware about the organization, but let me just give a brief about it. LTIMindtree comes from the L&T, Larsen and Toubro conglomerate, which is about 80 years old and 31 billion US dollars of the revenue that it has. And LTIMindtree is about 29 years old organization. And it started with L&T Infotech, L&T Infotech, and then we got merged with Mindtree, and then a new organization called LTIMindtree got emerged in March 2023. These two large organizations, which are of equal size, have become one, and we are now about 90,000 employee workforce size that we are, and every day we are growing. So as you can see, the numbers, the revenue and the customer count has been ongoing. Every day we are adding new customers, and even in the earning calls and everywhere, we are moving fast along with the industry. So that's about the LTIMindtree. And very specific coming to the ServiceNow capabilities to talk about, we have a good strength of people where we have the capability across the previous slide, if anyone of you recollect, where Ritesh was showing the slide of the AI platform tower that it has. And it has all the domains and the industry we cater from the ServiceNow practice perspective. And all the implementations that we have done, it's a hybrid approach that we have taken, where from my side, my team, as well as people from the practice side, they have come together as a blended approach, and then we have implemented the story that you're going to hear from us now. So that's about the LTIMindtree journey.
Awesome. It's really massive. Thank you. Lauren, I see your hand up. If you had a question, please put your question in Q&A and we'll try to answer it. So PC,
Yeah.
get us started about your AI journey. Like, where did you start? How did you decide where to start? Tell us about it.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And even before going there, let me just give you some background about what the organization as an LTIMindtree and what our slogan of this year being the AI first organization, right, in the industry. Fundamentally, what we believe that, AI is not just a technical shift, but it's a kind of a way or a fundamental way that we are, the way of the operation that any organization is going to work. And it has an enormous potential to change the way that the business operations is going to work and make sure that, we are going to improve in the employee experience, in the customer experience, and making sure that we reap all the benefits that we have towards. And hence is the reason when we got a platform, beautiful platform like ServiceNow, we have actually adopted and said, yeah, this is the opportunity for us to start with AI first approach, making sure that all our customers, including our internal customers, like as a customer zero, we start this journey, make sure that we are successful, and then take this journey and the capabilities that we have built across the globe with all our existing as well as prospective customers.
Awesome. PC, you and I have talked, and I get this question a lot from customers. You have been on the platform for a long time, and you've been using workflow automation for a while now. Can you tell us a little bit about how AI is different from workflow automation, or, just help the audience demystify that, like workflow automation versus AI?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. So we have been seeing about the automation, workflow automation part. Many of these people who are in the group are familiar with it. But anyway, fundamentally, workflow automation is something where there are defined rules are already configured, and it works like that, as the rules are configured. Whereas AI actually takes it to the next level, where it, the pulls in the data that's available in the system, in the platform from multiple sources that it gets, and then it reasons it out, it analyzes the data that's available, and based on the need that it gives the judgment that how it need to be reacted. So that's the fundamental difference between the workflow automation that has been their conventional way of working, whereas the AI, it's actually taking to the next level.
Raghu, I'm not trying to put you on spot, but do you want to share light from a ServiceNow perspective, how we see it?
Absolutely. So the workflow automation, I think most of the audience attendees have heard. We had automations of simple. We started with the assignment rule automation, right? Based on the rules, it gets assigned. So there's a defined deterministic way that the things happen. Orchestration used to happen. It was very clearly defined because we have set the rules, boundaries, and it used to happen. Now with the Agentic AI, it's basically with the data, it can take the decisions dynamically, and with the changing amount of data, and it can fine tune. Basically, the machine learns and takes the decisions to basically orchestrate those automations in the endpoints. So that's how the changing world, the agentic AI and the AI world is moving ahead with various solutions which is in place.
Yeah, and Roy is going to excite us a little bit about AI agents. I'm going to hold the thunder until then. One of the things, like we were even talking yesterday, and Roy, and we all get this question from customers, like every customer feels like we are a snowflake, we are unique, and we have lots of employees, and LTIMindtree has 90,000 employees. So maybe Jayanti, from an HR perspective, what did this transformation mean to you, and what were the challenges? How did you go about it?
Sure. So, as PC mentioned, we looked at reimagining the HR also through AI first lens. So, AI first transformation is what we are adopting. So, we have branded this under Reimagine HR, which is built on the belief that HR should not only adopt AI, but it should also lead it. And also, given that we are 90,000 employees today. So, we took up this vision of becoming a true case study for our customers, which is what we are aiming at, and we are doing it. And our key objectives clearly remains how we improve employee experience, how the productivity gains for the HR leaders improve, and how we take decisions very faster. And we have done that with our partners like you, ServiceNow. So we have developed, when we started this journey, we developed a 5-stage maturity model that guides the entire journey from isolated pilots to basically a pervasive AI across all functions. So we did a detailed research through our analyst arm like Gartner's, and then we weighed where we stand. And based on that, across all the HR functions, we carved out various use cases where we can reap the benefits. Now, very important thing which the audience would be interested to know is the adoption. Now, many times what happens within HR, there are AI transformation or use cases, but unless the adoption is there, and all the 90,000 employees are using it, there's a better employee experience seen, the use cases are of no use. So adoption, the change management is very, very important, where a specific focus was given. And that's where in our early journey we started the adoption also. So we are seeing real impact, like whether it is predictive hiring model, Gen AI powered onboarding, or AI driven performance management. And in fact, even the game changer for us has also been Rima, which is our AI companion that provides our associates with personalized support and guidance. So, all in all, I would say this isn't just about technology, it's about creating a more responsive, data driven, and human centric HR function. And as we scale these innovation internally and also with our clients, we are definitely becoming a strategic driver, and HR is becoming a strategic driver of enterprise wide transformation.
Awesome. PC, I'm sure this has not been as smooth as it sounds. So, what were some of the organizational blockers? And we hear that every customer has to go through this. Like, we would love to hear your challenges, and if you could share insights on how you went about them.
Of course, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, without challenges, yeah, of course, we would not have progressed so much, and today we would not have been here in this webinar. Fundamentally, I will talk about keeping the initial configurations and, the other technical configurations and those glitches aside. Let's keep them aside. But fundamentally, what we see, if we can categorize them into three parts, the first and foremost is about having a foundation data correct, right? The quality of the data. If we can just imagine, if we can just imagine the way that the documentation was done before the AI generation, it was siloed, the quality of the data was poor, and the way that all the documentation, even in the IT side, the resolution notes that were given, for example, by the agents were all, not very so, robust and the quality oriented. But now with the advent of AI, obviously it has become very, very, the primary parameter for us to make sure that the quality of the documentation and the data gets better, so that the results what we are expecting are coming out. So that was the first challenge that we had to go through, having the foundation data absolutely intact. And of course, it's a journey. We need to make sure that we are improving as we speak on a daily basis. But that's how we started. That was that was the first area that we had to focus. The second one is towards having the team to be more skilled and then available, and then obviously having the right passion and obviously the innovative mindset to make sure that they are implementing, they are working along with the ServiceNow and our practice team and so on and so forth. So for this, obviously, it's very difficult because the conventional developer mindset always kicks in, the way that they want to work and then so on and so forth. But this is where the game changer comes in. What we have done is that, we have actually carved out a separate team who are going to work only on the AI use cases. whether it is IT, whether it is HR or anything to start with. We have carved out an exclusive team, identified these set of people. Now I'm really happy to say that there are many more people and many more developers who are interested to come and join our team, because they started seeing the, first of all, the kind of learning that the existing team has, the kind of visibility that the team is getting, and so on and so forth. So that's the second part, having the right team in place, so that, as you know, the technology is moving very fast, and especially ServiceNow itself is moving very fast. Every 6 months you are launching new versions with the new capabilities. It becomes very, very important for us also as customers that we should have the right team in place. Of course, it's a journey again. Even in this case, fortunately, we found out the right team, and I would really, through this webinar, I want to thank my team who have done fabulous job. No doubt about it. Today we are here because of this passionate team. So that's the second area that we looked at as part of the challenge, Ritesh. Third is towards the adoption, where I think Jayanti was rightly pointing it out, making sure that having the adoption across 90,000 population, and every day bunch of people keep joining in the organization across the globe, right? We have presence across 40 plus countries. So and they are at multiple geographies, working at customer locations, at our offices, and so on and so forth, coming up with different backgrounds and so on. So the adoption also plays a very, very key role. And I would request, maybe Jayanti can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, PC, you covered it just one point on adoption. So in any organization, adoption among the Gen Z workforce will be very different from other organization. So this becomes key, and I would like to highlight what we did within LTIMindtree is we actually took an inclusive approach where right from the start of the AI implementation within HR, as an example, we included this workforce who were like part of the change management committee. And I'm telling you, they brought in so wonderful ideas on how we can actually do adoption, whether it is a live, roadshow, or maybe sessions, or a community of practice. I mean, there were so many ideas coming up, and we were able to actually increase in adoption of many AI use cases, especially because this workforce was also included in the whole change management committee.
Amazing. And there are tons of questions from our audience today. So let's just quickly, if you have Workday, we integrate with Workday. So I have had a lot of customers who have Workday in the back end for workflows. But then ServiceNow is not only their engagement layer, but it also serves as that AI platform, if you will, to orchestrate everything together and give the experiences that Jayanti talked about for employees today. So PC, I kind of want to summarize PC and Jayanti, the key things you called out: ROI and taking that AI first approach, investing in skills and organizational readiness and adoption, and then data. And guess what? There are questions on those three topics. So let's start with ROI. Jose, excellent question. Like, PC, tell us what was the impact, the business outcomes you saw?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a kind of a fundamental thing that we also looked at. There are three areas fundamentally we looked at the ROI, and it's been like a couple of months, that we started looking at, and the value realization exercise has just begun, because we wanted to give some time for the tool to get matured, for the launch that has happened gets matured, the usage increases, and the feedback starts coming in. But the areas that we started seeing improvements are fundamentally, I can confidently say about my own team's productivity improvement. The way that my team themselves start using the creator workflows that we have, where you can say like, text to flow, text to code, and so on, and text to app. This is fundamentally the area I have seen. We have measured it 22% of the productivity improvement that has happened. The second area is towards the case resolutions, especially in the area of IT or in the case of HR. The case resolution, the satisfaction levels have increased more than 67% of the cases where those got self-help based resolutions that started coming in, where the employee doesn't need to go and raise an incident or a case for a particular clarification or so. They can actually go and ask the question, and then it crawls the information and it summarizes it. And if they further want to have, obviously they can have the raise the incident. So that way, the self-help has actually dramatically improved quite a lot. So that's the second area that we started seeing the improvement on. So like this, there are other parameters also. I think for now, these are the good areas.
Jayanti, anything you want to add from an HR
Please.
impact perspective?
Sure. Just to adding to what PC said, the self-service definitely improved, and that shows in the employee engagement scores only improving, the onboarding experience, candidate experience, all that points we are only seeing an improvement in those areas. Then second, also from an HR productivity gain, our key objective was to how they reduce the percentage of transactional or operational activity and focus on more strategy. So that increase in percentage in strategy and reduction in the query management, all of that we can already see even among the HR BP space, business partner space, basically.
Awesome. And not to beat this topic a lot, but ROI is top of mind for everybody. So maybe Raghu, if you could also share some stats that we saw from their implementation for virtual agent and AI search and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. So the initial use cases, I can just target the fulfiller use cases, which was the out of the box. The moment LTIMindtree got into the AI journey, they implemented these Now-Sys skills on the ITSM side as well as HR. So those use cases definitely yielded those improvement of the productivity in the IT agents, as well as the directly it was a faster time to resolve. Within a month, 2 months, we could start monitoring in the out of the box dashboard reports that as and when more and more records were used for resolution, notes generation, incident summarization, we could see the downward trend in the MTTR. So that was a direct contribution there. The second thing is, as soon as for the requester persona, when we went live with the Now Assist for the search and the Now Assist for the VA, we could see that, okay, most of the incidents and cases, they were getting down. The record counts were going down because as and when the search was going up. So again, the PC has his own platform owner's dashboard, which he monitors the usage of the search directly for the requesters. And he has, in the same graph, he also monitors the downward trend or the trend of the incident records going down. So these are the two main metrics, I would say, that with which a direct savings for the LTIMindtree and the return on investment was realized early in the phase itself.
Awesome. Thank you. How did you go about the data quality for this effort?
Yeah, I'll just like a flashback, it's for me. But yeah, so of course, as I said, that's one of the challenges that we have. So we have actually agreed, as we said, we have created a governance. We have formed a governance council where we have agreed that the data quality need to be improved, and there is an opportunity, and this is kind of a one-time opportunity that we have where we can also make sure that the data quality can get better. So we have taken, there are two approaches that we have taken because we wanted to run a little faster, make sure that, we are going live and then we are making sure our employee experience gets better the sooner. So one approach we have taken is where, we have started going through like HR case, let's say. We have gone through all the KB articles that we have. We looked at them, the retire, whatever that we wanted to retire, we have retired them, make sure that the changes that were supposed to be done, those are started getting done the faster, have the validations done, and so on. And with regard to the IT and the other areas, we have actually looked at them and then prioritized based on the need, and then the way that we looked at the past trend of the incidents that are getting raised, so that we focus only on the top 10 areas that we want to look at, so that the prioritization gets better. And the other areas of the data quality improvement, obviously, or the document quality improvement can continue to happen as we progress in the upcoming days. So that's the approach that we have taken.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Jayanti, you want to add anything?
No, I think PC covered.
Awesome. I have my esteemed guest from the last webinar, Sunil Tuliani from Eden. Sunil, you don't get to ask a question back like this, but I will still ask a question. So PC, he's one of your customers. He's from Eden, and he wants to know how did you go about continual improvement and opportunities for the AI team to drive better outcomes?
So much. I think as we have said, we formed a very robust governance council which consists of our executives, and then that's the council that we have formed like a couple of months back, and which is continuing, where we actually go back to them, we prioritize, we decide on the AI areas or the guidance that we receive. Our primary area the guidance that we got is to look at the employee experience, making it better, right from the smart onboarding that Jayanti was talking about. Apart from that, all through the journey of the employee that goes through, whether it is even in the areas of like, say, the project allocations, whether there are risk areas that we need to look at, even the asset allocations, where are their assets are currently, and so on and so forth. So that's a strong, governance is what we have set up to make sure that we continuously get the feedback, not only from the users, and also take the feedbacks from the users. That is how we are actually making sure that the continuous improvement happens in the other areas as we speak, whether it is quality of the documentation, the responses, the other channels that we need to open up, and so on.
And also,
Awesome.
just to add to what PC you said, within HR also, we took a very structured approach, right? Like every HR function, we did a design thinking. We saw where we stand, what is AI potential, what will help us achieve the objective that we have set. And based on that, the priority of the various AI use cases goes to the tech team. So that's the approach, and we call it a reimagine framework, and that's what we had adopted.
Awesome. Question, like, did you all do ITHR Big Bang, or how did you phase it out?
Yeah. So in this case, we actually have started with IT, and then in parallel we were doing for HR as well. But the first launch has happened on the IT side for the fulfillers, for the agents, because of the number of incidents or the touch points were more, and so on and so forth. There are a couple of parameters that we looked at, and the impact and the benefit that the employees are going to get. So we started with IT, and then we moved on to the HR in parallel. Of course, there was not much of a difference. I think there was like a month's difference or so, but these two were like going in parallel.
Awesome. And Raghu, maybe you want to just break it down a little bit more, even within IT and HR. How do we break the AI implementation?
Yeah, I also see a similar question from Manish in the chat. So Manish, answering this questions for you as well. So yes, we started with the low-hanging fruits first. That is, we started small with the out-of-the-box, the proven use cases like the analysis skills in ITSM as well as analysis skills in HR. So both were parallelly started. While both the business team, the development team configured and offered it for the business team, they were engaged early in the phase, and they explained what out of the box actually does and how this can benefit your operations, right? So that is where we started, and once the IT launch was happened. So, I mean, obviously this was all in pilot because it was all in the experiment phase in the initially, and how we wanted to also see how the business react to it, and then basically go for a little more use cases. So first IT now assist skills for fulfiller, and then now assist skills for the HR, and then next we focused on the requesters persona, where the search and the virtual agent, through the virtual agent, the search functionality, the multi-turn catalog conversations, all these different skills was launched for the requester persona. So if you see the strategy, it's while you focus on the requester side, it's a major change across the organization, and LTIMindtree being 90,000 plus. So the larger the organization change, the people side of the change was required. So that was while that was being prepared with the data quality assessment and findings for that, and then enriching those relevant data for the catalog items or knowledge articles, which is much required for this search to give proper responses. In the meantime, in parallel, we focused on the smaller use cases, which is ready to use out of the box. Now skills are available. Thanks, Ritesh.
Perfect. And I know there are lots of other great questions. I will just take one before we dive into the AI agents. PC, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but give us a rough estimate of how long it took. Like, break it down, IT and HR. Was it less than 3 months, or what was your timeline?
Yeah, I would say it's roughly about 100 days, to be precise. I mean, somewhere about 3 months, 3.5 months is what I would say. And because obviously we were trying to do both of them, in parallel or one after the other and so on. And as I said, the skill was also the area that we need to look at. And obviously, thanks to ServiceNow and the team, where we had conducted continuous workshops and the holding to our team, which obviously augmented and expedited this whole journey. Within 100 days, we could able to, obviously raise the first flag.
And
Awesome.
PC,
And
just to make note, PC is now in the high racetrack. Every 4 weeks, there's a launch of a new agentic AI use cases. It's just breaking the records.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there are tons of questions on use
Yeah.
cases and ROI from those. So I think it's an interesting conversation, but hopefully we'll have time at the end. But for now, I will let Roy talk a little bit about AI agents.
All right. Thanks so much, Ritesh. Appreciate it. So AI agents, I think it's useful to think about AI agents and agentic systems as really an expansion on traditional generative AI. So agentic systems, like the ones that we implement on our AI platform, basically differ from other capabilities in that they can take action autonomously. And that could mean triggering in response to human direction. And we'll see an example of that in just a little bit, or even when specific conditions are met. And basically, when you combine that autonomy with the ability for these agents and agentic systems to pursue goals and adapt to information as it arrives, that makes for a really powerful combination that kind of layers on top of all the workflow capability we're kind of used to in the ServiceNow ecosystem. That ability is basically that of considering a goal and plotting a course of action. And then that's then magnified by the fact that the agents can access a wide array of tools within the system that regular generative AI would struggle to accomplish. Essentially, what it allows you to do is it fuses the reasoning and intelligence of the AI models themselves with building blocks that we have available inside of the ServiceNow platform. And that could be retrieving data or storing information, transforming information, accessing content from various sources, even integrating with remote systems. And in some situations, you'll actually find an agent is going to need help. It's going to get to a point where it feels it's blocked. And in those cases, they can ask for assistance, whether it's from a human or an integrated system or even from another AI agent. So it becomes a much more collaborative working experience as opposed to sort of a press the button, watch the feature run kind of experience. So let's pop over to the next slide and we can talk a little bit about what actually makes up our agentic system. So first of all, we want to start with an agentic workflow. The way I think about this, it's really the mission for a team of agents. And that team gets specially assembled to complete that particular goal or mission. Each agent on the team is going to have its own specialty and tools, and they're going to work together to accomplish this workflow. Choosing the right workflow is actually one of the really important parts of crafting a valuable agentic system. So typically, you're going to want something that a person could do, but might not have time or attention to do repeatedly. So for example, things like combing through past cases or knowledge articles to find a precedent for a rare issue, or checking in with complex entitlement systems just in case something wasn't recorded correctly. So let's break out of sort of the predefined workflows and look at things from sort of this mission-oriented perspective. Once you have an agentic workflow defined, you can create a trigger. And that trigger responds to something happening in the environment. This can be a new case showing up ready for action in somebody's queue, a particular category, things like that. And that dispatches the mission, or it can be, a person can ask for help in a particular flow as well. So when that mission is dispatched, first it goes through the next component, which is what we call the orchestrator. Basically, what the orchestrator is doing is it's looking at the task that it's been given, the mission that it's supposed to be working on. It reasons about the available information that was provided and the agents at its disposal that were provided for that specific agentic workflow. So instead of a traditional workflow where you've got to define a path, think of this orchestrator as adapting so that it has far more flexibility in responding to unexpected situations. And then what it does is it actually selects an agent and gives it a task. So that task is supposed to move it towards achieving whatever that mission was. And that agent is laser focused on its objective. And that makes it very good at accomplishing that particular one thing. And it can select from the tools at its disposal and complete the task and report back with the results. And then the orchestrator interprets those results. And if needed, it can react. If there's any surprises or errors or issues identified, it can adjust its course of action. So for example, you could trigger more agents to collaborate on the objective, or you could try the same agent again with a different input. And this is like one of the most amazing things when you actually work with these agents. You can watch the orchestrator dispatching different agents to correct errors and even demonstrate behavior that you might not have thought about, but is happening in support of that underlying mission. And what I really like is, for example, sometimes you want to make API calls with some of these tools, and it'll get back an error from the API, and it'll just try again with the input data corrected to work around that particular issue, or it'll go find a missing piece of information that it needs in order to completely form a recommendation and sort of send off an agent to go and find that piece of information. So I've actually seen agents that get dispatched by people, and then they spend multiple minutes kind of looking through data, looking at patterns, forming hypotheses, testing them with further analysis. And it's really powerful because you can apply that at scale. And it's the sort of thing that you'd be really happy if somebody working for you like went off and did that analysis. But now you can do it over and over again, repeatedly, 100 times, 1,000 times. Nobody's going to do that job 1,000 times a day. But that's what AI agents allow us to do and scale 24/7. So it's really, really important in that sense. So one of the really important things about building AI agents on the ServiceNow platform in particular is that we have so many tools at our disposal. And for those that are a little more technical like me, think about it this way. Any script or spoke or flow or subflow can be transformed into a tool for an agent to use. And it's pure coincidence of like the way that we've built our workflow engine. It just plugs in really nicely alongside these AI agents, and it just interacts really cleanly with them. And what that means is you've probably already got many building blocks that are really important to your enterprise that you can just connect into the agentic framework in order to actually drive the specific automations and opportunities within your business. So I hope we'll take the opportunity to really take the first step in your own agentic journey. I want to give you a little bit of a sense of one way that a simple AI agent can augment a person's efforts, and maybe speak a little bit to some of the capability in the back end behind this. All right, so let's roll this video, which is pre-recorded. So here we've opened the Now Assist panel. Basically, this is allowing us to interact with the agentic system, and we're asking it to highlight spikes in incident volume. So what I like about this use case is that we've given a fairly vague instruction, but the system is able to make sense of it and decide on a course of action. We talked about tools earlier, and something that's really cool about this flow is it actually has an agentic team member in the background that is allowing us to run fast classical AI algorithms for clustering and then combine them with LLMs to find patterns in large volumes of data that'd be really difficult and expensive to handle with LLM models alone. So that's a really powerful concept, and we can see how the results basically for this don't include just the trends, but actually potential next steps that the system has identified based on the context of those individual tickets. So now what we're going to do is we're going to provide more information. Here we're asking for it to highlight spikes in incident volume by L1 network. All right, so the system, the agentic AI is going to understand sort of in context, and it's going to modify the instructions given to those agents, the very same agents that were providing us with a previous analysis, but now they've adjusted all of the queries, and they're now looking specifically in the context of network incidents. So they've applied the right filters, maybe looked at the different assignment groups that would be applicable. And again, here we see it kind of transferring those higher level insights of what we see in the patterns of data into actual actionable insights of what we might be able to do to actually improve that situation. So just a really quick use case for these. We always have to pick something that runs very quickly, so it can't do a 5-minute or a 10-minute agentic execution. But hopefully that gives you just a little bit of an idea of kind of what it looks like to the user when in the background this agentic system is really working through a lot of things that you don't necessarily see. It might have taken a person a substantial amount of time to comb through potentially hundreds or even thousands of incidents. I've seen this type of approach, for example, work well with customers that have hundreds of thousands of issues or hundreds of thousands of incidents, and then they want to identify like what is an opportunity for me to like drive more self-service. So really helpful in that sense to have some sort of digital leverage for the work that you want to do.
I couldn't have done a better job than Roy, but I have to say, if you're new to this, don't worry. I have been building AI agents every day now and troubleshooting, and still I feel like I don't know enough of this. So we have some resources towards the end for you guys to dive deep. This was just, hopefully Roy got you excited, especially if you had like technical folks here. This is amazing. Awesome. We have 15 minutes more for questions, and there are a ton of other questions. So let's go through the list. So the way we're going to do this is, I know there are some really excellent questions on ServiceNow technical details like security, the AI orchestrator, and stuff like that. If we don't get to those, Roy and I will do our best to answer them offline and post it on the community. So don't worry if your question is not hit, we will answer them. What we want to do for the remaining 10 minutes or so is try to address some LTIMindtree questions while we have these guests here. Awesome. So, Jayanti, maybe we talked about it, but if you could just summarize the three, most beneficial use cases that you found from an HR perspective, and then we can sprinkle some light for what we see with other customers.
Sure. So what I will do is I'll cover the ones which are improving the employee experience, and also from an HR agent perspective, what are the use cases and how they are using it. So from an employee perspective, first and foremost, which PC also highlighted, the Now Assist on HRSD, it is definitely the employees are excited about it. And like I said, we have an AI agent also, like an orchestrator, which we call as Rima. So that is also tightly integrated to HRSD in ServiceNow. So what we are seeing is employees, there is no need to log into ServiceNow and get and create tickets. They are able to do that, which is also integrated to our Microsoft Teams. They are able to raise tickets on ServiceNow. They are able to get their queries answered. So there is just one place where they get everything, even from applying leave or getting basic policy related questions. So all of that self-service they are able to do. And I'm sure we have brought down lot of query management because of this. So this employee is really, really excited about it. Second, on the performance management, we have seen that typically every year what happens, HR is following up with employees to create goals, do your feedback, is the continuous feedback happening, is the appraisal happening. Now we want to stop all that, and how employees, they are self-driven and motivated to actually enter the goals automatically based on the entire skill piece that is on something that we call as digital profile, which is within LTIMindtree. So what happens is all these systems are tightly integrated, and we have been using the AI use case that I'm talking about. Rima helps in actually setting the goal depending on what profile I have, what is my career aspiration, and what is the next role I'm looking for. So all that, it looks into various systems, and automatically, seamlessly, my career growth graph is also carved out. So that is something that has really improved the employee overall experience. Now, third one, for HR specifically, we have few prediction models that we have developed, which is helping them to assess or proactively, using various ML models like random forest and so on, they are able to actually assess that which are the top talent who are at risk, and how they can address it and take care of the major concerns that comes in. So for top talent, this is one model that we have developed, and they are able to proactively engage with the people who are probably at risk. And one more thing I would like to highlight, we are also using a lot of reporting, which is not on Excel or a BI platform. I mean, of course, BI platform we are using, but on top of it, AI sits on top of it, where we are able to extract the report very, very seamlessly using ServiceNow also. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. One important thing, maybe PC or Jayanti, I don't know who, but Diana has an excellent question. She wants to know, if things were employee facing, what was the feedback you got from employees?
So, yeah, PC, you can also add to it. But the first thing which is really, really satisfying to see is they are saying that we are getting faster response through the Rima agent. They are able to get their queries answered very, very quickly, and also the right way. So that is one feedback that we are getting. Second, also the onboarding experience has been seamless. We are using ServiceNow for that, and on top of it, there is AI. So the smart onboarding, we call it smart onboarding. What it is doing is it is helping the employee based on their profile. They are able to actually do a lot of things on their own, where AI is guiding them. Imagine an AI guiding step by step, day wise, that what exactly you have to do. So the overall onboarding experience, we are seeing a great feedback coming in from employees. PC, you
Thank you.
want
Just
to
to
add?
add, yeah, just
Yeah.
to add to Jayanti's point, I still remember a couple of months back where, during the pilot phase, we had taken our laptop to our cafeteria where there is a digital TV that we have, and then we connected to it and we asked the people to come and ask their queries that they have. And people, our employees who are having their lunch, snacks, whatever, or coffee, they were mighty thrilled when we presented that and when we showed. And people were excited saying that, hey, when is this going to come? And of course, in a couple of months, then we made it a reality. So the moment that Jayanti said, it actually, struck me the memory that I had, the kind of experience that I could able to get, and the feedback they gave saying that, yeah, okay, this has to get much better, or it has to be more transactional or conversational and so on. And then we got into the VA part. That's where we started focusing on the VA part. Till then, we were focusing on the GenAI or the Now Assist. And then now we got into the VA part where it was more conversational and it was more action based, where people can ask and then it actually continues to resolve, and it raises requests on their behalf, raises incidents on their behalf if needed, and so on.
So PC, while you're on the VA, there's another question, like what was the time frame for time to value and what was the specific ROI from the virtual agent?
Yeah. So from the virtual agent, I would say, it took somewhere about, I would say about, as I said, somewhere about 4 months, 4 months. Yeah, it's about 4 months that we have actually launched. And then the value realization, the exercise is now happening. After 4 months, now we are doing that exercise and we are seeing very positive results towards, the response or the value realization that we have invested.
And I believe you have like 60,000 virtual agent conversations happening every month, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So
Thanks for
that
reminding. Yeah. Thanks for
that
reminding.
it's yeah, that itself is powerful. Like all of those conversations would have gone to human agents, and that's deflection through virtual agent right there.
Yes, that's powerful. Yeah, that's absolute, magnanimous number, I would say, which we would not never thought that it's going to be such a huge number, and the count is increasing.
Awesome. I know there are excellent questions about security and AI agents can be hacked. That's an excellent one that I can actually talk at length, but Roy and I are going to take it like a follow-up and answer that on the community. I just do want to take one question. How did you prepare knowledge bases for AI? This is a very common question that I get from customers. So PC, if you want to share, or Raghu, or anybody share your thoughts. I have mine, but I'll reserve for you guys.
Yes, being part of it closely. So
Okay, I'll go first. So first thing we did when we did the assessment of the knowledge article, so I think this was more experimental. We initiated with the search or leveraging the knowledge articles in basically answering the questions, right? So that is when the requester persona was being tested, and we saw the quality of the information, the responses was not that great. So that's when we got to know that there were many historical knowledge articles which was not relevant, and hence the AI was also leveraging that. So the first thing we did was clean up of all those articles which was inherited historically. The second thing was a review of all those articles, okay, which were all like last 1 year, is what which was updated or being used. The top 10 articles which was heavily being used by the requester or has been seen. There is a number of views on the knowledge articles. So that is when we targeted that, okay, these are the top 10 articles that we have to focus on, which will basically cater to 80% of the audience. So we improved those quality of those knowledge articles, ensure that, okay, those are enriched by the respective knowledge author. And then we started seeing the results, the responses of the GenAI much, much better and much more acceptable by the business themselves.
And just one quick thing to add, like I've had other customers use AI to actually help improve knowledge articles. So you can create a Now.Assist custom skill knowledge coach, which I think PC you guys built too. And what that does is it looks at it reviews your knowledge articles against best practices, and it'll give you guidance and feedback on how to make them better. And then a lot of customers, like LTIMindtree, they do like a hackathon for knowledge, if you will, so that you time box it and get the knowledge bumped up to a certain level. And you're not alone on having knowledge obsolete. There are a lot of customers like that. Yes. There is, I know we can keep going. I want to answer one more. Like, it's an excellent question from Michael Ma. So for HR queries, Jayanti, do you just let AI agent answer them, or you have human HR agents double checking, or what's your, how are you doing it?
So, I mean, so dual workforce is something we have to manage, and the collaboration is very, very important. So what we do is Raima answers the question, the AI agent answers the question first. However, it is trained in such a way that if the agent is not able to answer, it guides or directs the person to the right portal or to the right person, and accordingly, the next navigation point follows. So it is agent first, but if not, there is a process and a workflow involved where automatically it is redirected to the right person or the right portal or the right tool.
Awesome. We have 3 minutes. Maybe Raghu, you can just summarize some key takeaways and then help us wrap up for today.
Sure. So, all right. So this is directly from the experience. Definitely start small because this will definitely give you that limited scope visibility where you can focus on, test it, and then rapidly expand it so that it can reach all the resources and it proves successful. So with the small use cases, and definitely leverage the out-of-the-box use cases. And also along with this, not only just the learning adaptation of those use cases increases, but also it minimizes the risk and maximizes your potential for rapid growth when the time is right to go for the next use cases. Along with this, we have also heard directly from PC Jayanti that data quality is one of the key things that you have to focus on. If you have legacy data, yes, I know the data quality might be a little low, but you can still go ahead with it, leveraging that. Okay, you can see for the last 1 year where you can focus on those data to leverage as a data sets. And the third thing is definitely partner to have the right skills, identify the right team who can be focused on these projects. That's a very key thing. And also try to leverage the SMEs, engage the SMEs who know the subjects. Definitely that will expedite your journey to success. And yes, have those governance in place so that you can have the right use cases identified, which gives you larger potential to the value because it has to reach to the larger audience. If it reaches that, yes, you do have the value there. So, and then plan for your frequent releases well and ahead in time so that you know what you're going to achieve the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay. These are some resources. So I call it, like, if you want to dive deep into AI agents, ServiceNow University has tons of resources, a good starting point. If you have impact teams working with you, reach out to them for help. And then if you need professional services, we also have expert services. PC, you want to talk about how you can help other customers?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is our capability, as we have said, from the LTIMindtree perspective. We have three categories. One is obviously being the partner. We can come, and our practice team that we have, we can support you. Get in touch with us, and then we will guide you on the appropriate way that we can actually have. We have built the right capabilities to make sure that we can collaborate with you, make sure that you are getting all the benefits that we have. And because we have already done it, seen it here, all the the kind of experience that our team is actually carrying, those are going to be much more beneficial for all of you to take the journey much more faster.
Thank you, PC. And I think we are at time. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hope to see you next month too. And thank you, PC and Jayanti, for sharing your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you so
It was
much.
awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.